Okay, today we're going to learn to single crochet. Starting out with a 4-weight yarn and an H hook, 5mm. Start with our slip stitch. And we're going to chain 12. So we know how to chain, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on there. Now, you can't go into this one again, the chain just below the hook, or things will kind of come unraveled. So you go down to the second chain from the hook, and there's 3 parts to this chain. When you're holding it with this at the top and this at the bottom, this is your back loop right here. This part right here is the back loop. When this one at the bottom is the front loop. On a chain, when you flip it over, it's the bump side. There's 1 bump here, 1 bump here, 1 bump here. It's a little bit harder to get your hook into the bumps. And I like to use this a lot because when you get done with the bumps, then you have a chain, still have a chain look on the other side, and that looks really nice. But today I'm going to just teach you to go in through the top loop, because that's a really simple way to start off with a chain. So we skip this first one right here, skip this first V right here at the top. This one we don't count because that's got our hook in it, and we're going to go in the back loop, or the top. This is the back loop right here. So you go through that, and then we're going to do our yarn over, hook under, and pull through. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. Then we go do the same thing again, wrap our hook under, our yarn over, grab it, keep the head pointing down, and a little bit of tension up here, then it slides so easy because of that. That is a single crochet. So we're learning single crochet today, and that's the first one. The next one, you go to the next back loop, the one on the top, go through that, yarn over, pull through loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Again, another single crochet, go through that back loop, yarn over, pull through loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So it starts to make a little taller here and back there than back the chain. So you're starting to build on that chain and making it a little higher. You keep doing that. Go in the back loop, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through another loop. So if we're counting them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 single crochets on that. We can go to the end. We started with 12 for our chain, but you use one of the chains to turn, so when we get done, we should only have 11 single crochets on this. So let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we did that correctly. Now, when you're going to get to the end of the row and go to the next row, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Still working in the top. Now this time, since it's easier to go under these V's, you've got your chain here, so you don't go in this chain that you just did to turn, but you go under both of these. If a pattern says single crochet, then you go under both of these. If it says single crochet through back loop only, you go under the back loop. If it says single crochet front loop only, you go under the front loop only. But if it doesn't say the pattern which loops to go under, you go through both. So that's how you do a single crochet up to the next row. Go under both, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you have 2 loops on again, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we've done our first crochet on the second row. The next one, go under, you kind of have to turn it towards you a little bit to see the 2 tops of the V. So you go under both those loops, those 2 separate yarns, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through to 2 loops. Now you do that all the way across. When you are working single crochets or any other stitch across and you want your ends to line up and not look like a triangle, and you want to keep things squared off, you always have to add on a stitch at the end of your row. So we came to the last stitch, but before we turn, we have to go yarn over and pull through a loop. That's chain 1 more up, and then you can turn it around. If you don't chain up this time and you turn it, you skip this and go into this row, and that is how you lose a stitch on the end of the row. So you have to chain, so you want to be able to go into this, that's why you do 1 chain. If you don't chain, then you can't go into this because it will come loose. So you go into this one and that will lose you a stitch. So before you turn, chain 1, turn, and then remember to go into this stitch. One thing that's really good for beginner crocheters to do, because it's so easy to lose track, is to mark the stitch, the last stitch on the row. So let's see, let's go back to this end. When we get down to here, this is going to be the last stitch that we're going to do on this row. And then, so go up here and we'll do our first crochet, go under both these loops, yarn over, 2 on, yarn over, pull through both. Okay, now let me see, I think, let's see, yeah, I'll go back and do this way and then I'll know for sure. So chain 1, and then this is the first one we're going to go in right here. Under here, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that makes this little V coming out of here our first stitch of the neck of the row that we're working on right now, and it'll be the last stitch. So I'm going to mark that also. So that was the stitch, that's the beginning of the row. And if you have a complicated stitch, it's good to mark also when you're getting used to doing it, so that your rows will go up evenly and not go out or in. So Single crochet across, going under both loops. All the way to the end of the row. And because we have this in these two loops, we know that that is the last one on this row. There's nothing else over on this side that we want to go into. This is the last loop we go into. We know that's the last loop on that row, okay? Then chain 1, turn, and then not the loop that's coming out of here, but this one on this row. This is going to be our first double crochet on that row. And we're going to mark that so we remember when we come back. So I want you to practice this. Keeping your rows straight, keeping an even tension, and learning your single crochet. And that's what it looks like. Little bit knots on this side, and since you're turning it over around, it should look similar with the little knots across there the same. So a single crochet is a pretty stitch. It's a tight stitch you use when you don't want to have a lot of holes, and you use it to go off a single crochet to make a whole bunch of other kinds of stitches. Thanks. Have a good day.